he said 3 very significant words, each of which represents as much a building project as an unending programme, something to be ceaselessly crafted. Well, as we wait for Pope Francis' arrival, I can tell you the atmosphere is electric at this refugee camp. There's been one man singing and keeping all the people here at the camp going. They've been dancing and singing, all waiting for the Pope's arrival. We've seen children. If I can explain to our listeners, we've seen children holding up little pieces of material with different words in French and in English. Some words saying peace, some words saying love, some words saying joy, and they're all waiting for the arrival of Pope Francis. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this refugee camp. It's one of 5 camps located around the city of Bangui, and it is the camp called Saint Sauveur, and it is run by the convent of Notre Dame of Mount Carmel in Bangui. As I said, there are 5 refugee camps, the biggest really in Bangui, and it's been estimated that there are around 7,000. It's really climbed, the number of refugees that are in this camp has climbed to about 7,000. That was from about June 2014. Many of the people that are there are under tents of plastic, and where it's really possible to house families together. And there are about 79 tents in the camp. Facilities include 116 toilets, there are about 110 showers, and the camp is divided into 12 areas. Also, I can tell you that there's a team which really secures the compound around the camp, and we can see even today the heavy presence of security surrounding the camp as the people wait for Pope Francis. There are also other teams in this camp. There are teams that are occupied with collecting the waste from the camp, and every 2 weeks the Red Cross International, they deposit some 16 tons of rice, 6 tons of beans, about 2,800 litres of oil, and 12 big sacks of salt. So there's a lot of activity, and there's a lot of help being given to this camp. Well, you can hear the chants and the songs of people as they await Pope Francis, and we hear that he is en route and he'll be arriving very shortly to this camp. Of course, visits to camps like these, the slum in Nairobi, have been the hallmark of Pope Francis's visit to Africa, where he's wanted to promote peace and reconciliation. He's talked so much about the poor. He's talked about a lot about his encyclical about creation. He's also talked about respecting the elderly, the sick, the handicapped, all of these people. There are cheers, I can tell you, so it means that the Pope is arriving, and we can see the Pope now arriving at the Saint Sauveur refugee camp. The atmosphere is electric as the Pope arrives. Greeting the people, especially the children. He's greeting children there as he arrives in the camp. As I said earlier, they were holding up little material banners with different words, love, joy, peace. God's love was another one in English that was held up by children in the camp, all dancing and singing and waiting the Pope. So here he is, and a lot of people have been saying, and people who, again, organising the visits have talked about the Pope. We didn't come to him, he is coming to us. And I think that's been so important for these people, that the Pope is coming to them, he's coming to see them. The Pope making his way through the crowd. people waving banners, chanting and singing as he makes his way. You can see the Pope you can see his face. It's always so bright and alive when he's doing visits like this. He seems to be in his element when he's paying visits to these kind of situations, and he feels very much at home, and you can see that. Of course, the situation in the Central African Republic has been very volatile in recent months, and that's led to internally displaced people. Despite a relative calm since January 2015, the capital has been really affected by violence. Armed clashes left at least 90 people dead. 40,000 people were forced to flee to safer areas following the killing of a Muslim taxi driver. And until the latest violence, the Central African Republic, or CAR, had an internally displaced population estimated at about 399,000, while about 460,000 had fled into neighbouring countries. The Pope there continuing his walkabout, making his way through the crowd who've been waiting patiently, but also with a sense of joy at his arrival. As I mentioned, this camp is one of 5 big camps centered around BANGUI in the Central African Republic. The Mompoko camp is what really Pope Francis would have seen as he made his way on the plane into the capital. You're immediately confronted with the reality of the humanitarian crisis facing the country. Tens of thousands of people have made their way into this sprawling camp at the airport, almost to give them a sense of security, because the airport is a rather secure area. Of course, many have been forced to flee their homes due to the violence during the past year. The Pope is now continuing that walkabout. People are taking photographs to have that precious image captured of Pope Francis. The Pope smiling as he makes his way, kind of touching the heads of the children there. Always so important for him to be with the children. He shakes their hands. He's talked so much during this trip about the youth of the various African countries he's visited, the importance of education, the importance of the next generation, the youth. Well, just to give you a little bit of background about why many of these people have been forced to flee their homes. Last March, a group of predominantly Muslim rebels known as the Seleka overthrew the central government. And in the months that followed, this group really went about the country killing civilians, burning homes and churches and looting even hospitals. And of course, many terrified people fled into the bush, and others fled to the major cities seeking shelter. The Pope now making his way really inside the camp, and you can hear the cries of people, the chants of people as the Pope does his walkabout. Heavy security presence here today, but not overshadowing the people, the sense of joy here today. Little child is being lifted up and the Pope gives her a kiss. So typical of Pope Francis, what we've seen so many times, even in St. Peter's Square at the weekly general audience. Pope continues now to make his way through this camp and surrounded by flashbulbs as well, but also the children. Again, he's with the children, he's bending down to them. A group of children in front of him, and he's chatting away to them. Meanwhile, there are many women waving to him as well. There's a group of women there just waving and have, again, patiently had waited all this time to see Pope Francis. Pope gives a wave and they respond, clapping their hands. Real emotion here today at the Saint Sauveur refugee camp. If you're joining us, this is Vatican Radio's live commentary of the Pope's visit to the Saint Sauveur refugee camp in the city of Bangui. He arrived from the presidential palace where he met the interim head of state and the diplomatic corps, and is now in the centre of this refugee camp.
Au nom des déplacés internes en général et des déplacés de la paroisse Saint-Sauveur et du Frère Saint-Jean 23 particulier, je vous souhaite la bienvenue parmi nous. Nous sommes heureux et très honorés par votre visite.
A greeting to Pope Francis. Words of welcome on behalf of the IDPs in general and the displaced of the parish of Saint Sauveur and St. John the 23rd Centre. I particularly welcome you among us. We are pleased and honoured by your visit. Despite your many commitments, you've come to share our joy and our pain, our anguish and our hope. Your visit here promotes reconciliation, lasting peace and happiness throughout this territory. Thank you so much.
Merci infiniment.
Round of applause. Pope Francis smiling there. Lovely greeting from a member of the camp, greeting Pope Francis at the Saint Sauveur camp. He now greets people here. A greeting to you all, says Pope Francis.
Io vi dico che
Bibagaikwe bechina ikinangiati duchina popoti lasso.
Io vi dico che ho letto questo che I bambini avevano scritto.
He's saying that he's read that which the children wrote to him on those materials I was talking to you about earlier. Peace, amore, love, all those things written.
Lavorare e fare tutto per la pace.
Talks about promoting peace. Peace without love, without friendship, sense without tolerance, without forgiveness.
Non è possibile.
It isn't possible.
Ognuno di noi deve fare qualcosa.
Every one of us has to do something.
Io vi auguro
I hope
a voi e a tutti i centroafricani
that all the people of the Central African Republic,
la pace,
I wish you all peace.
una grande pace tra voi.
A great peace between you all.
Che voi possiate
And you can
vivere in pace
live in peace
qualsiasi sia l'etnia,
ata magatala ikendendende
la cultura,
tutingotala na chikodrondendende
la religione,
zapaswala ikesambela ikende
lo stato sociale,
tutingotala na chisewa
ma tutti in pace, tutti,
zokwe na chisiriri
perché tutti siamo fratelli.
mangachi ikwe yekegiaita
He says we're all brothers.
Che tutti diciamo insieme, tutti siamo fratelli.
aike akenzagana na
I hope we can all say together that we are all brothers.
ala limiti na taitonso ikwe yekeaita ala tiga tene encore
Un'altra volta.
And he says again,
E per questo, perché tutti siamo fratelli, vogliamo la pace.
ai bangachiso ikwe yekeaita
and for this we're all brothers, and
E vi darò la benedizione.
we want peace. He now gives his benediction, his blessing.
Che le Signore vous bénisse,
zapatinga ngukwasa maboko tulo na ndoti
les pères,
sole ke baba
les fils,
na molenge
les saints.
na ingobia
E pregate per me,
ala
Pray for me.
pregate per me, avete
ala samela
sentito?
mingi tenetini
He says again, pray for me.
ala yeda nani
What a response from the people there. Those lovely off-the-cuff remarks by Pope Francis, really promoting a sense of peace, talking about brotherhood, fraternity. At the heart of it, peace. Peace between all the people of the Central African Republic. Pope now continues his walkabout in the camp. Again, continuing to greet the many young people who are here at the camp, the many children patting their heads as he goes about the camp. As I was saying, the number of displaced people has soared to more than 40,000 within BANGUI. Continuing to meet all the people, especially the young people, especially the children at the camp. This is what he came to do. This is what he came to do, to promote peace, reconciliation, and to be with the people who are in need. To be with the people here in this camp that are living under tents, that are availing of the services provided at this camp, one of a number in BANGUI. It is a flying visit to the Central African Republic, but as always, full of engagements. As I said earlier, the Pope was visiting the presidential palace, as it were, meeting the interim head of state. Interestingly enough, later on, the Pope will get the Jubilee of Mercy rolling by opening the Holy Door in the Diocese of BANGUI, Bangui's Holy Door. And it really is a sign of prayer and solidarity for this conflict-ridden nation. On November the 1st, during his Angelus, the Pope said he wanted to do this to manifest the prayerful closeness of the entire Church to this afflicted and tormented nation, and to exhort all Central Africans to increasingly be witnesses of mercy and reconciliation. Of course, it's what the Jubilee of Mercy is all about. It's not just in Rome. What they want to do is promote it all over the world, the local church. And that is, for the first time, holy doors will be designated in every diocese throughout the world, including here in Bangui. Of course, when he returns, the Jubilee will get into full swing. The Holy Door at St. Peter's Basilica will be officially opened on December the 8th, as will afterwards the door at St. John Lateran on December the 13th and St. Mary Major on January the 1st, 2016, and St. Paul's outside the walls on January the 26th, all of the major basilicas. Well, getting back to the Pope, he's still amongst so many people here at the camp. There's an elderly woman talking to him there, so many young people, and he's chatting, looking very animated there as he makes his way through the camp. Of course, so many people wanting to talk to him, so many people wanting to take photographs of him. And he's come here to show his solidarity with the people, with the refugees, with those who have been forced to flee their homes and who can't yet return to their homes and are having to make their homes here in this camp. But even the United Nations agencies, when they working in the Central African Republic, they even said that they were hoping this visit would really hope to promote a sense of reconciliation in the country, and of course, most importantly, also allow for access to humanitarian assistance, especially the most vulnerable who need it. And interestingly enough, a song for peace, written and sung by children, has been playing on radio stations. It was played ahead of the Pope's arrival, which is a really nice thought to have that ahead of his arrival, a song for peace, especially sung there by children as well. So many different initiatives in so many of the countries that the Pope has visited, in Kenya, in Uganda, and here in the Central African Republic as well. Well, there's no let-up, I can tell you, here in Bangui, in the refugee camp here. There's so much excitement, and people just really excited that they've actually got the chance to see the Pope. And there was this idea again, as I was talking earlier, about the Pope wanting to come to the people not going to him, but the Pope coming to them. And it's meant so much that he has taken the time out of his schedule to come to them, to come and see them. Well, earlier during Pope Francis' speech to the diplomatic corps in the presidential palace, the Pope was also talking about the history of the evangelization of the Central African Republic and the socio-political history of the country. And he said it attested to the commitment of the Church in promoting the values of unity, dignity and labour. And he said, in recalling the pioneers of evangelization in the Central African Republic, he greeted his bishops who were carrying out the work, and he said, with them, I express once more the readiness of the local church to contribute even more to the promotion of the common good, particularly by working for peace and reconciliation. Well, the Pope has now got into the Pope Mobile, and the people are watching as he departs this camp. This really such an important visit for the Pope to come here, to be with the people, to give an off-the-cuff little speech, a brief speech, remarks to them. There was also a welcome from one of the members of the camp, saying how honoured they were to have him there. So the Pope, a really important engagement.